10 things you need to know about the 2030 petrol and diesel car ban. The government's ban on the sale of new petrol and diesel cars will come into effect from 2030. Surprisingly, even the sale of hybrids will be outlawed from 2035, giving just 5 years extra. Only electric cars will be offered from new after that date. The government has been tightening the timeframe for a ban on petrol and diesel cars since it first announced the idea in July 2017, which proposed 2040 as the start date. In February 2019, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he would bring forward a ban on new petrol and diesel car sales from 2040 to 2035, or even sooner, if, quote, a faster transition is feasible, and confirmed it would include hybrid and plug-in vehicles. Fast forward to November 2020, Johnson confirmed in a newspaper column that the government was bringing the ban on the sale of petrol and diesel cars even further forward to 2030, though hybrids will be unaffected until 2035. The ban will form part of what Johnson refers to as a green industrial revolution, creating, he said, a low-carbon economy and millions of new jobs. With a lot still left to do by 2030 by both the government and the industry in convincing motorists to make the switch to electric and in massively increasing the extent of the UK's public charging infrastructure, here are the 10 things you need to know about the ban on petrol and diesel cars. Why are new petrol and diesel vehicles being banned? Well, the petrol and diesel car ban is expected to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve local air quality. Petrol cars emit CO2, carbon dioxide, and Britain has a legal target to cut greenhouse gases to net zero by 2050. Diesel vehicles produce higher levels of nitrogen oxides and particulate matter, which have been linked to increased risk of respiratory illnesses, lung cancer, heart disease, and many other conditions. These emissions can be reduced via modern exhaust systems and additives such as AdBlue that Mercedes famously offer. But electric cars are still much cleaner as zero emissions are produced at point of use. Some companies actually use renewable sources to aid manufacture, such as wind and solar, so even the production of electric cars are being considered. Number 2. What are the rules on hybrid cars? Hybrids will be banned from sale in new car showrooms from 2035, 5 years after pure petrol and diesel. Hybrids come in a number of forms, but basically they combine an electric motor with a petrol or diesel engine for a greater efficiency. Plug-in hybrids can be charged for up to around 50 miles of electric motoring before the engine kicks in. As per Johnson's wording, the only hybrids that will be able to be sold between 2030 and 2035 are those that can drive a significant distance when no carbon is coming out of the tailpipe, meaning that manufacturers will need to abandon mild hybrids and increase the range of their plug-in hybrid models by 2030. Even these will then be removed from new car showrooms in 2035 though. Third, will I be able to buy a second-hand petrol or diesel car after 2030? The answer is yes. The petrol and diesel car ban only affects sales of new vehicles. You'll still be able to buy and sell used cars that are powered by combustion engines after 2030, and you'll also be able to buy and sell used hybrids after 2035, although do expect the value to be drastically affected after 2030. Number 4. What will happen to the value of my petrol or diesel car? Resale values of traditional combustion engine cars are expected to be hit as demand falls and cities outside London follow the capital in introducing ultra-low emission zones. As 2030 approaches, used car sales are expected to plummet, as manufacturers still offering new models for sale are likely to discount heavily. At the moment, there are no official plans to eradicate petrol stations or change them for charging stations, but this may change. What will happen to classic cars when petrol is banned? At the moment, there is no suggestion that classic cars powered by traditional petrol or diesel engines will be forced off the road. There are more than 500,000 historic vehicles, such as those over 40 years old. Not to mention, many are worth a great deal. It is unlikely that this will change drastically. However, it is expected that in the 20 years or so following the petrol and diesel car ban, old-style fuels will become less sought after, more expensive, and harder to come by as a niche product for enthusiasts. Is it possible to convert my petrol or diesel car to pure electric? Yes, but at the moment it's very expensive. An engineer can remove the engine, transmission, and fuel tank and replace them with an electric motor, battery, and other related components. Companies that are doing this are charging around $20,000 for a small car and as much as $60,000 for a large one. Insurers tend to charge more for modified cars too, so if you do it, it would be heart over head. How does the 2030 ban affect my current car finance deal? Well, for the 90% of new cars bought on finance, the agreement remains valid for the duration, including any guaranteed minimum future value, or GMFV, which estimates how much a car will be worth at the end of the contract. It is likely that there will be incentives for drivers to enter deals for electric and hybrid models when existing leases end. Are pure electric cars expensive? Well, at the moment, there is a premium on pure electric cars as they are more expensive to make. For example, a Peugeot E208 is roughly £6,000 more expensive than an equivalent diesel version of the 208. However, as sales increase, naturally, economies of scale will mean the cost of production decreases and prices will reduce, hopefully. Price parity with petrol and diesel cars is expected by the 2030s, with some experts predicting it to happen as soon as 2024. Will electric car running costs increase? The government is looking to plug a £40 billion gap in taxation as a result of people switching to electric vehicles. Currently, they pay no fuel duty or vehicle excise duty. Increasing the number of toll roads has been suggested to help generate road tax, while the Times reported that there is an interest for a pay-as-you-drive scheme that will charge drivers by the mile. Road groups are concerned that those living in rural areas who are forced to drive further than those living in urban areas will be negatively impacted, with the AA's Edmund King suggesting road mile credits could be given to those living in more remote parts of the country. Are there financial incentives to buy an electric car? The government currently offers motorists £1,500 off the upfront cost of a new pure electric car, but Grant Shapps, the Transport Secretary, has admitted that the grant will go eventually as more drivers move over to electric. The grant is only available on cars costing up to $32,000. The plug-in car grant has been extended until March 2023, though at a cost of £403 million. Pure electric car drivers also pay zero VED, commonly known as road tax. They are exempt from the London congestion charge, they pay less for servicing and maintenance, and electricity is cheaper per mile than petrol and diesel, due to there being significant tax on petrol and diesel. Company car drivers save a packet on benefit in kind too. At this point, you should be up to date with the latest plans for the 2030 ban on fossil fuel-powered new cars, and hopefully this clears up any misconceptions that you may have had. Remember to like, share and subscribe for informative videos on a variety of topics from manufacturing to health. Live an informed life.